Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly Update. It's been more than a week since my last JRPG Weekly Update. You know what, we'll talk about that in a minute. I got a good reason though. But today's top headline has to be the announcement. Nintendo and Game Freak have unveiled Pokémon Legends ZA, a brand new open-world Pokémon RPG coming to Switch in late 2025. It's going to be set in the Kalos Lumiose city, and this Pokémon Legends entry gives the bustling metropolis a high-tech makeover while preserving wild habitat zones for Pokémon, which is pretty interesting. Uniquely, players will be able to start with either like a Chikorita, a Tepig, or a Totodile as their partner instead of like some sort of usual regional starter. And it looks like there might not actually be like a world outside of the town. It's just everything seems, so far all I've seen, it all looks like it's taking place inside of this big old metropolis, but it's like a nicely produced one. It looks like it's straight out of the Netherlands. It's weird. Anyways, the game introduces a fresh new battle style where players can actually move around, a wild concept in 2025. Players can actually like walk out of the way of inbound attacks and stuff. Well, maybe not every attack. There's different AoE stuff, areas of effect that now is going to just provide a little bit of a different strategy to different kinds of encounters. So this announcement was part of the big Pokemon Day stream on February 27th, just yesterday for me, a couple days ago for you. It has been met with excitement from fans who are intrigued by this mix of Pokemon generations and the promise of a Legend Arceus style adventure, but in Kalos. Community reaction is largely positive, with many pleased to see Game Freak continuing the Legends sub-series and eagerly spectating about how Kalos' lore and perhaps characters like AZ and Floette will tie into the story. Others are a bit more disappointed by the visuals though many are kind of tempering their disappointment with hopes that the inevitable port to the Switch 2 will improve things. Pokémon Legends ZA is being developed by Game Freak for Nintendo Switch, aiming to deliver a new twist on the classical formula when it launches in late 2025. How do you feel about the new area of effect combat mechanic? Honestly, I think that it looks pretty sick. It looks like a breath of fresh air to me, from where I'm sitting anyway, but you can also pretty much count me into that group of people hoping that the port to the Switch 2 will introduce some much needed graphical fidelity. What are your thoughts, guys? I'm gonna pass that back to you. In the meantime, Monster Hunter Wilds launches today worldwide. That's yesterday for you guys, but Capcom's latest monster slaying epic Monster Hunter Wilds released globally on February 25th today for PS5, the Xbox Series, and PC. This sixth mainline Monster Hunter title plunges players into the Forbidden Lands, featuring dynamic, ever-changing biomes and richer narrative than past entries. Early reviews and player feedback highlight the game's expansive open zones, challenging new monsters with praise for its graphical fidelity and voiced story mode, a first for the series. Way to rub it in, guys. Pokemon fans are still recovering, okay? The community reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. Veteran hunters are lauding the fresh hunting mechanics and multi-dimensional environments, while newcomers appreciate the added tutorials and quality of life improvements. In Japan, Monster Hunter Wilds is set off to a strong retail start, and Western sales are expected to be high given the series' growing global popularity. This major release is seen as a win for co-op JRPG enthusiasts, or action RPG enthusiasts, more specifically, offering hundreds of hours of questing gear and crafting and online multiplaying and hunting. Monster Hunter Wilds is available now, priced at about $70 for the standard edition, with deluxe bundles offering extra cosmetic DLCs and stuff. It's poised to be one of the biggest RPG hits of the year, cementing Capcom's continued dominance in the action RPG space. Man, this is one of those series that I really wish that I could get into. And maybe at this point, maybe I could. The last time I spent any significant amount of time in Monster Hunter was probably Try on the Wii. I should probably give it another go at some point. The Yakuza franchise's newest spin-off, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, launched worldwide on February 21st, delivering a high-seas action-adventure starring series icon Goro Majima. Set in a modern-day pirate scenario around Hawaii, the game's following an amnesiac Majima reinventing himself as a pirate captain. A premise fans initially found quirky but ultimately embraced. Reviews so far have been largely positive, with critics noting that despite the absurd title, the story offers a sincere and heartfelt adventure, much like, an allegory for all of the Yakuza series, and it's accessible to newcomers, which is really nice. The gameplay blends classic Yakuza brawling style with naval combat. Players are actually able to commandeer ships and introduces a fresh twist to the series formula. In its first week, the game has topped Japanese charts, selling over 105,000 retail copies across PS4 and PS5, and performed strongly on Steam and Xbox as well. Community reception skews positive. Longtime Yakuza fans love the spotlight on Majima and the over-the-top pirate antics, while new players are enjoying a standalone adventure. Developed by Ryoga Gotoku Studio and published by Sega, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is out now on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. With its successful debut and OpenCritic average in the low 80s, this spin-off demonstrates the franchise's ability to experiment without losing its identity, unlike Majima. But for real, how does reimagining Goro Majima as an amnesiac pirate captain change your expectations of the Yakuza series? And which gameplay element are you more excited for? The traditional brawling of classic Yakuza games, or the newly introduced naval combat? What are you more excited about? It's pretty wild to me that it seems like people were like, I want a new pirate game, but a good one. And Sega's like, I got you, fam. So next up, Konami's Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune and Dunen Unification Wars collection is set to launch on March 6 of 2025, just around the corner, and the publisher has scheduled a Suikoden special program live stream for March 3rd to stoke fan excitement. So this remaster bundles the first two Suikoden games, the PS1 classics from 1995 and 98 respectively, with enhanced graphics though, and new character portrait art by none other than Junko Kawano, and modernized effects and UI. According to Konami's team, they've aimed to preserve the original charm and story while adding quality of life improvements like faster battles and conversation logs. Fans of the series, which is now dormant for many years, are generally thrilled to reunite with Tyr McDowell and Ryu, if I could say the name right, and collect the 108 Stars of Destiny in high definition. Anticipation is pretty high on social media and the JRPG subreddit, with longtime players sharing memories and newcomers curious about the legendary franchise. Pre-orders are already available, and Konami has detailed some of the digital pre-order bonuses like in-game currency and stat-boosting items as incentives. The special broadcast on March 3rd will deliver all of the latest in the Suikoden, likely footage of the remaster and possibly hints at the series' future, which has the community speculating about potential Suikoden 3 and 4, maybe 5 remasters, and maybe even a new entry. It could be pretty cool. Nobody's really asking for Suikoden Tactics, but I kind of liked that one. Overall sentiment is optimistic, aside from some concerns about Konami's track record. The revival of Suikoden is being celebrated as a major event in the JRPG world. The remaster will hit PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC simultaneously, making these classic RPGs more accessible than ever. And Suikoden 2, has it ever been cheaper? I don't think so. My question for you guys then is, do you think that the updated graphics and streamlined interface on the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remasters will successfully rekindle your love for the classic JRPGs, or might it sacrifice some of the original charm? What are your thoughts on Konami these days aside? Because, it seems to me like we're seeing some surprising wins coming from them lately, especially with like the new Metal Gear 3 remake that they've recently announced. Like, is this a different Konami? What's going on here? Now, Koei Tecmo and Gust have showcased new footage of Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned Land. Oh, what a mouthful. On February 21st, including the RPG's opening movie and fresh details about the world of Alidus. In this upcoming Atelier installment, due out on March 21st worldwide, players follow rookie alchemist Yumia Leisfeld as she joins a research team exploring new ruins of a fallen continent. Fans of the series are excited by the glimpses of the vibrant landscapes and promises of the classic Atelier gameplay, item synthesis and character-driven side quests, combined with the grander narrative about uncovering Alidus's mysteries. The community response to Yumia's character designs and new art by artist Benitama have been quite positive. Many are praising the blend of Atelier's cozy atmosphere with what appears to be a more high-stakes story. Atelier Yumia will release on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on March 21st, and early purchases will get bonus costumes as DLC, as revealed in this week's update. Moving along, don't worry, I'm not showing the Daybreak 2 trailer. I'll be showing the Daybreak 1 trailer for the sake of avoiding any potential spoilers. Anyway, NISA released The Legend of Heroes, the Trails Through Daybreak 2, known as Kuro no Kiseki 2 in Japan, and in the West on Valentine's Day, and JRPG circles are buzzing about this hefty narrative RPG. As the second part of Falcom's Calvard arc, Daybreak 2 continues Spriggan detective Van Arkride's story with a darker murder mystery plot. Reviews of the English release have been decent to strong, though slightly more mixed than previous Trails entries, many outlets scoring it a 7.5 to 9 scale, so that's pretty good, praising improvement in the combat systems, but noting that the main story isn't as engaging as its predecessor. Fans are somewhat divided though, some adore the expanded character development and the conclusions to lingering plot threads, while others found the pacing to be pretty uneven. I haven't played it myself yet, but that's the vibe that I'm getting here. So the Western community reaction has been positive overall, and the game offers closure to plot lines from Daybreak 1 and sets up the series' future, which has sparked many spoiler-filled discussions on forums. With this release, Falcom's Trails series also reached a new milestone: over 8.5 million units sold worldwide across all titles, reflecting the growing global fan base. Trails Through Daybreak 2 is available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, the Switch, and PC in English, and is a must-play for fans invested in these sprawling Trails sagas like myself, even if it isn't necessarily regarded as the series' high point by all critics. Speaking of Trails Through Daybreak 2, the last video that I actually put out was an unboxing of the game, and also a bit of a Valentine's Day special of sorts. Basically just a super innuendo-packed video full of gags about how Falcom knows their audience very well in order to release the waifus on Valentine's Day, all the while trying to not get spoiled and failing during an unboxing process and slowly losing my mind throughout the whole thing. All things considered, I think that the video actually came out better than it deserved to, all things considered, so go check it out if you haven't already. If you just want to see what's inside the box, then cool. I do have to say though, that was over 2 weeks ago, and I really hate that it has been that long since my last video. Things over here in SuperDerek land really took a turn when my dog Turbo hurt his back last week. We ended up treating him the way that we did in the past with like pain management pills that were prescribed by his vet, but it looks like, as it turns out, he has this thing called IVDD, which is pretty debilitating. He actually lost mobility and all sensory input in his legs and basically everything beyond his hips. So since then, he's been through a very expensive surgery and has been undergoing a very strict, very limited, movement, very strict bed rest. He's got about a 60% chance of recovery, but right now, honestly, I'd give anything to... But at this point, I'd give anything to see him wag his tail again. Anyway, this definitely sideswiped some projects that I had in progress, and I hope to pick them back up soon, but things are pretty hard right now. And I know that things are hard for a lot of people right now though, but if you find that you're in a comfortable position and would like to see a new SuperDerek video in the game collection, or just want to help a guy out, you could kill two birds with one stone by joining a channel membership here or on Patreon, where you can find my next episode in the game collection covering Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals in early access. Of course, you could also snag a pretty sweet t-shirt from shop.superderekrpgs.com and use promo code TURBO for free shipping on your order within the United States. Anything domestic, I think. Yeah, emergency vet surgeries, surprisingly, aren't very cheap, and my whole family would thank you very much for your consideration. Moving along to other news and various other updates, Idea Factory International is localizing Mado Monogatari, Fia and the Wondrous Alchemy, a dungeon-crawling JRPG about a young mage in training for Western release in 2025. Originally released in Japan in November, it will now come to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch with English and French subtitles. Fans of the first-person dungeon crawler and the legacy of Mado Monogatari, the series that inspired Puyo Puyo, are happy to see the title getting an official translation into the West. A limited edition is planned, and Idea Factory has opened up wishlisting for eager collectors, so keep that in mind. Bandai Namco are seeking player feedback on Tales of Grace's F Remastered. The company opened a survey for those playing the recent remaster, asking about satisfaction levels and suggestions, and even incentivizing participants with exclusive digital wallpapers. This move has sparked hope that the fan input might influence future updates or even future Tales remasters, given Grace's F's niche popularity. The game's remaster, released last month, has been well received overall for its improved frame rate and resolution, though some fans noted that some remaining quirks, hence the survey's importance. So make sure that if you're playing it, or if you played a little bit of it and then stopped, you should probably especially be participating in that survey. Next up, I wanted to highlight an indie RPG here called Twilight Monk. It's a hand-drawn 2.5D Metroidvania action RPG. Say that 5 times fast. It's set to launch in March for Nintendo Switch and PC. We don't have an exact date, but it's being developed by Aquatic Moon and is being published by Gravity Game Arise. It features an anime-inspired art style and a hybrid of exploration and RPG leveling. A free demo is available on Steam as part of the current Next Fest until March 3rd, so get on that if you want to. I think it looks pretty sweet, and early impressions commends the game's fluid combat and nostalgic Zelda meets Castlevania vibes. So it supports a whopping 11 language options as of right now, reflecting a push for a global reach, and that's pretty dang sweet, I'd say. Next up in fan translation news, retro RPG enthusiasts received a treat with a new fan-made English patch for Appare-den Fukuryū no Sho. I hope I said that right. A 1995 PC 98 adventure RPG. I'm just having all the fun here with pronunciation. The translation was released, though, by a group called 46 Okumen on February 8, making this Japanese exclusive title accessible for Western players for the first time. Appare-den's tale of a shopkeeper and his cat-like companion embroiled in an Edo period mystical plot can now be experienced in full in English, adding to the growing list of classic JRPGs preserved by fan efforts. It's generally, by the way, regarded as a hidden gem from like the PC 98 era. I mean, I feel like the word hidden gem kind of gets thrown around a little bit, but like, who even plays PC 98 games? I think everything on PC 98 may in fact be a hidden gem, at least for us Westerners. So retro enthusiasts appreciate this game for its charming presentation, animated battle sequences, and a blend of Japanese lore with fantasy elements, and an engaging narrative that sets it apart from more mainstream titles. So you might want to check that out now that you can do that. That's pretty sick. Next up in our JRPG 10-day forecast, we have on March 6, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster finally coming out. This remake bundles the first 2 classic Suikoden games, originally released on PlayStation 1, into a single collection with enhanced graphics and updated character profiles, modern effects, and refined UI, quality of life improvements, and all that stuff. We kind of already talked about a lot of this already. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Next up, Everhood 2 is a rhythm-based indie RPG sequel that is coming to the Nintendo Switch and PC. Building on its quirky, hand-drawn aesthetic from its predecessor, Everhood 2 now integrates music-driven battles where timing and rhythm influence combat directly, and early impressions highlight its fluid combat, catchy original artwork, and a unique blend of exploration with RPG leveling. Fans of offbeat experimental titles are excited about the nostalgic vibe that recalls classical musical adventures. And then finally, on March 10, we have Rise of the Ronin coming to PC. This is that game developed by Team Ninja. This is an action RPG set in the late Edo period of Japan and offers an expansive open-world samurai adventure. Players assume the role of a Ronin navigating a richly detailed historical setting infused with supernatural elements. The game emphasizes strategic swordplay, dynamic combat, and immersive storytelling, giving players a blend of intense action and historical narratives that distinguishes it from more traditional JRPGs. So that about covers it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's JRPG Weekly Update. It was a struggle to get through from time to time. I think you understand why, but hey, I hope that the next video that I put out won't take 2 weeks to do. I have an indie RPG that I've been playing a little bit of on the side. Let's just call it something like Cat Souls, and it's actually pretty dang cool, and we'll talk about it more soon. Get subscribed so you don't miss it, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, everyone.